Why are interscholastic sports called the last classroom of the day? Because they teach students important life lessons like teamwork, accountability, and perseverance. School sports are so much more than a game. They're about developing the whole person. That's why they're an essential part of every student's education.
Encourage your student to participate in the last classroom of the day. Interscholastic sports in Georgia. This message presented by the GHSA and the Georgia Athletic Directors Association.
Well, the storms have cleared in Kennesaw, Georgia, and a wonderful night setting in with the red sky above Fifth Third Bank Stadium. It's time for action at the Fraction in Kennesaw, Georgia. Atlanta United 2 hosting NYCFC II. Jason Longshore will be along with us just in a bit, but for now, I'm Jarrett Smith. Thank you for joining us wherever you are, however you're doing. Thanks for making us part of your evening, and hopefully you're having a good evening. Hopefully we can make it a little bit better with some MLS Next Pro After Dark, which we do have on tap. Coming into this game, both teams looking for 3 points, and both teams kind of looking to right the ship a bit. NYCFC's lost 2 straight, including a 3-2 loss to Columbus Crew 2 last time out. Meanwhile, Atlanta United 2 straight draws, losing both in penalties. If you're new here, if it gets to a draw after 90 minutes in MLS Next Pro, we go straight to penalties. Atlanta United 2 has fallen short in their penalties. However, 2 impressive performances on the road had earned them at least a point to keep them in a solid state. As we go into tonight's game, we'll take a look at the lineups in just a bit. But if you just need a refresher on everything going on with Atlanta United 2, we're going to catch up with Steve Cook this week. Here's what he had to say.
Coach, let's go back to that first NYCFC match, and it sounds like from that moment forward there's been a lot of soul-searching, not just with the players, but with the coaching staff. How much soul-searching was there after that result that kind of sat poorly with everybody?
You know, I can't speak for every player and every other person. I can only speak for myself, and that wasn't the way I want my coaching career and a team that I work with and work alongside to be seen. And I think from my perspective, that day was important. We had a bit of a meeting in the dressing room afterwards. The players spoke honestly and openly about not only themselves, but each other. And we accept that we were poor that day in New York City, but we also accept that we can improve and we can go forwards from there. And so since that day, I think we've been a little bit more resilient. We've been a little bit more purposeful with what we've done and organised. We've only conceded 12 goals in 12 games since then, and up to that point, we've conceded 6 in 3. We've got a number of points since then as well. So that New York City game was one that I will always remember because it was the one that made me personally think, wait a minute here, this is not going the way we need it to go if we want to be not only doing well as a group, but the individuals have got to improve, including the coaches, because otherwise our careers wouldn't progress. And so it was a really important day. You'd have to ask the players individually what they took from it, but I think you can hear all the words, but really it's about actions. And I think since that moment, the players' actions were incredibly good and very professional. And we went on a run right after that, and let's hope we can keep that going again because we do feel, I think, that we do owe them a good performance because we certainly didn't have one that day back in the beginning of the year.
For someone who hasn't had the chance to either go back and watch that first NYCFC match or see NYCFC in MLS Next Pro, what are you anticipating? What do they bring to the table?
Yeah, they've got some really good individual players, and obviously it's a city football group, so anybody who's seen their first team play in Manchester City over the years will know that they want to get the ball. They want to build out from the back. They want to be a team that are comfortable in possession, in kind of a 4-1-4-1. They will pin you back as well. They're really, really good with the ball. And I think you have to accept that is one of their strengths, but we now need to understand that we can also disrupt that, and we can press aggressively and press quickly and making sure that we all come behind. And if the press is broken, which it will be, our recovery running is of a really high quality. And I think then on top of that, when we have the ball, we want also to be a threatening team. We want to be a quality team with the ball. And I do feel when you're playing New York City, you have a chance to score against them because they are quite open. But we have to do really well when we're in possession. And I think it might come down to one or two moments and chances in the box. And hopefully not only do we have the players, but we have the moment that matters, and we can come out of it with a good performance and a win.
And at the same time, you've mentioned in previous conversations that you've been able to do this with 13 teenagers, 7 debuts, and integrating players who are north of college aged, 24, 25, 26. It's a part of this collective. What's it been like to get this group, mesh them together, coming from these different directions for what Atlanta United II wants to do?
Yeah, I don't think I'm the only coach at this level that would say this, but I think that the challenge of this level is that you are getting different people coming into the group at different moments, and you are going to probably play more players in the group during this course of a season. Those players, like you've seen with the academy guys, are as young as 15, and then some of the ones are a little bit older. I think we've had several really key things this year, which is one is 13 teenagers have played in our games, and some of whom have played significant minutes in that period. And to do that is important because we want to help the players with their careers, and we want to help the first team put homegrown players into that roster. We've given 7 professional debuts, which I cannot ever remember numbers like that in my career. It's quite a large number. Some of them were short periods of time, but it's still 7 professional debuts for young men. And I think one of the bigger things that we can talk about as well is the contributions that players have made for the first team, not only in terms of performing, but helping get results, as you saw with Nick Firmino and Luke Brennan the other night. But also you have to say, Tyler Wolff's been in the group and then gone in and scored, and Matchday Chol's been in the group and then gone and scored, and Ozzy Alonso, pleased to help him back on the field at the other end of the age scale, should I say. So I really believe that not only are we helping young players with their careers, but we're also helping the first team at the moment get a result like we did on Wednesday night against New York City. It was a really important goal for Nick Firmino. I'm so pleased for those players, and hopefully we can help even more going down the road.
Last question for you. You're in this one home match in this big chunk of road games. What have you been able to learn about the team in that first half of the road games and a couple of tough environments, whether it was for travel or record or whatever? What have you been able to learn about this team being on the road and having to do it back to back to back?
Yeah, in a pretty short period of time, we've had 5 road games out of 7. And so coming home, one, I can assure you, is more than welcome for all of us. I think what you learn about is not just the soccer player, but you learn about the person, and the people in the group are incredibly good people. They are resilient. We had a really tough travel day last Friday before we went to Toronto, a 15-hour trip that could have taken an hour, but it took 15. And, not to complain. And I actually sat in the airport with a few of the lads and talked about my career and not really remembering the wins and the trophies as much as you remember the days in hotels and the fun you had with the guys and being able to hang out. Because if somebody tells you that that's what you're going to end up doing for a job for a while, it's a pretty great life, and if the worst thing that happens to us is a couple of delayed flights, we're going to be okay in life. And just really pleased with the camaraderie of the group. Not only that, but the way older players are helping young ones, the way young ones are really adapting to the professional life. And I think we should be really proud of that in the club, is that not only are they good players, but they're really good people and supportive of each other and just top young men, So I'm really pleased for that. And, when you're eating the same meal basically for a lot of days in a row because it's hotel food, it can get a bit old, and I haven't heard a complaint from any of them, so that's always a pleasant thing. And as a staff, I think that's probably one of the more welcome things that we get to do, is spend time with really good young men.
Coach, thanks for your time. Looking forward to the match tonight in Kennesaw against NYCFC. Thanks for being a part of the pregame show.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks to Steve Cook for taking the time to talk to us about this game and really the season as a whole for Atlanta United II. Coincidentally, Steve Cook will not be on the sideline tonight. Yellow card accumulation for the manager. If you had that on your bingo card, congratulations. You probably were lying, but either way, he won't be on the sideline tonight as he is serving his 1-game suspension for that. Now, as far as the rest of the lineup, we do have lineups. Fear not. And we've brought in Jason Longshore. Jason, thanks for joining us to discuss said lineups. Jason, are you ready for a little bit of MLS Next Pro After Dark?
No, I'm not ready for MLS Next Pro After Dark.
Too bad.
I don't know what it's going to be like. We haven't had MLS Next Pro After Dark just yet. We're going to kick off just before 9 o'clock, so I think that qualifies. As the sun's going down, it's really kind of weird looking here in Kennesaw, but I'll take it.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a cotton candy machine out here. It's very pretty.
A little bit.
It's considering the storms we had earlier, I'll take it.
Yes.
Now, as far as what we're going to be seeing tonight for Atlanta United 2, any surprises out there?
Ronald Hernandez getting the start at left back. Maybe a little bit of a surprise. Didn't know if he would be with the team tonight. He was on the same flight back with me, with Nick Firmino, who's also starting tonight. Hernandez getting a game, I think, is a good thing. I think Ronald Hernandez might play more of a role as Atlanta United's first team has continued to concede goals. I think Hernandez might be the best defensive fullback on the first team roster, and we might see him on Sunday against Philadelphia. Might be a little bit of an audition tonight. The rest of the lineup, no big surprises. Justin Garza's first start at home since his injury last season. Luke Brennan and Eric Centeno on the wings. Karim Tamimi doesn't start. Jackson Conway, his second start, first at home since returning to the team. But that midfield trio of Tiente, Carlton, and Firmino, they've had a lot of experience together. I expect that to be a big part of Atlanta United's setup tonight.
As far as the visitors who come in, NYCFC II, two losses in their last performance, however, a loss in their last performance. However, 2 goals from Matt Myers up top, who seems to be the focal point for their attack. Anyone other than Matt Myers who sticks out to you that you need to be keeping an eye on as a viewer?
Yeah, Myers definitely with 7 goals on the year, but Jimenez was really impressive as well earlier this season. He has 3 goals and 2 assists, the 22-year-old from Mexico. Piero Elias has been mentioned with a move. He's Peruvian, originally from New York, but Peruvian heritage. He's been linked with moves overseas or maybe even moves to MLS first-team rosters, so I'm really curious to see how he looks. Also, the back line. You have 2 16-year-olds on the back line. Andrew Baera making his first start, Alexander Hochschild making his 3rd start, and Christian McFarland making his 6th start. That's 2 16-year-olds and a 17-year-old and a 16-year-old in goal in Alexander Yugadayev.
Jason, we're looking forward to this. We'll bring you back in. We're going to kick you out. We'll bring you back in just a minute. Teams are taking the field. We'll take a quick look around MLS before the national anthem, MLS Next Pro, as we look at what's gone on so far today. It was the Columbus Crew 2 over Huntsville 1-0. Charlotte picking up a 4-2 victory over Chicago. San Jose beating Houston in the 84th minute 2-1. Red Bulls 2 over Cincinnati 3-1. That's in the 51st minute. SKC and North Texas are tied at 1 in the 86th minute, just underway with Los Dos and Colorado 2. Los Dos with a 1-0 lead. And this game getting ready to kick off, as well as 2 games after this. Salt Lake City and Portland set to kick off about 5 minutes after we do. And then if you want some real, pure, unfiltered MLS Next Pro After Dark, set your watches to watch Tacoma Defiance and Austin 2 tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. That'll be where you find the real chaos. However, our focus right now, as the sun sets in Kennesaw, Atlanta United 2, NYCFC 2, and we'll be right back after this as we get ready for national anthems and kickoff.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that we can give our daughters everything they need to grow and learn. But not every child can focus on classes and play dates.
Nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. face hunger. That's 1 in 6. School lunch might be their only meal each day, and it's heartbreaking to imagine any child going to bed hungry. We're dreaming of a perfect day when kids can smile, play, and just be kids without worrying about where their next meal will come from. Feeding America is working to make that perfect day a reality.
Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. That food is given to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about doing things that make an ordinary day extraordinary. Learning to play an instrument, building a sandcastle, hosting tea parties. Hunger should never be an obstacle to growing up.
You can help end childhood hunger in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Welcome in to Kennesaw, Georgia, Fifth Third Bank Stadium. The site, a little bit delayed of a start, but the site for Matchday 16 in MLS Next Pro for Atlanta United II. 5-5-5 on the season. Looking for a little revenge tonight against New York City FC II. Worst performance of the season was on the road in Game 3. A little bit of a turning point as well for this team. They had a long conversation after the game about expectations and responsibilities and making the next step. They've looked like a different team since that night in New York, and this is the opportunity for a little bit of revenge tonight against the orange-clad NYCFC II. Atlanta United II in the all-black, red trim, gold print. Our referee, Greg Dopka, assistant referees, Zach McWhorter, Rebecca Luther, and fourth official, Amin Hadzic. Just about ready to go here in Kennesaw alongside Jared Smith. I'm Jason Longshore. We've waited an hour and a half for this one to get underway.
We can wait a couple more seconds, I guess.
Sure. Why not? Let's kick it for 45 here in Kennesaw. The twos back to Efrain Morales. Out wide on the left. Tony Tiente. Ronald Hernandez moving over to the right side tonight. Aiden McFadden on the left. Hernandez dribbling through the middle, squares it across to McFadden.
It's different what we're used to, especially with Aiden being on the left-hand side. Used to seeing him on the right. See how much they go after that side of the field with his ability in the air.
Aiden's played a lot on the left this season with the twos. He's been that utility fullback for the team as they try to play out under pressure. Justin Garces involved. Kofi Tuamasi on the right side. Bombs it long looking for Brennan. Header won by NYC, but it's headed to Firmino at midfield. 1-2 with Tiente as Atlanta settles it down in the middle third. Firmino dribbling to the left, lays it off to Efrain Morales. Morales walking it forward to midfield, lays it off to McFadden. McFadden forward up the line to Centeno. Centeno in the attacking half now, drops it to Alan Carlton. Carlton into the center circle to Tiente. Tiente spins around to the right, drops it to Morales. All the way back to Justin Garces.
Really great to see Justin Garces getting more starts, coming off of a knee injury, finally appearing to be like his old self. He's finally healthy and able to show what got him that homegrown contract.
Tiente fouled as he had laid it off back to Tuamasi. Dopka blows the whistle. Atlanta restarts quickly. Firmino. Back to Kofi. Up the right side to Brennan. Atlanta still in their own half. High pressure from NYC. Jonathan Jimenez chasing, but it's back to Garces. Forward to Carlton, splitting the lines. Carlton wants to go long down the right to Hernandez. Brings it down. Great first touch by the Venezuelan international. Inside to Firmino. He's bodied off of it. Here comes New York City through the middle. Jimenez out wide on the left. Cuts inside. Has Myers. Myers gives it back to Jimenez down the left side. Into the corner. Jimenez defended by Tuamasi. Drops it back to McFarland. Pass inside to Elias. Headed away by McFadden. It's going to be a throw on the far side for NYC.
Whole thing starts with a great bit of work from Elias to body Firmino off that ball cleanly and trigger that opportunity.
Morales wins the throw-in duel. Comes away with it instead of Myers. Clears it long. NYC in possession in the middle third.
Both these teams like to have the ball. Both these teams like to build up their possession. And both will fight for it and try and be more comfortable and dictate the game with the ball at their feet.
Andrew Baera, first start of the year for the 16-year-old. It swung all the way over to the left to McFarland, also 16 years old, on a homegrown deal with NYC. Alexander Housechild squares it to Baera. Long diagonal, comes up a little bit short. Hernandez heads it down, but it's picked off by Jimenez. Hernandez has to body McFarland off. He does.
It's great work from Hernandez. It's a heavy touch, bringing that first ball down. The second ball is so important on those long diagonals, but great strength.
Hernandez on the right side. Flips it into the middle third to Brennan. He wants to turn around Housechild. Can't do it. Housechild good defending, and Jack Beer comes away with it, wearing the captain's armband for NYC.
Jack Beer, one to watch tonight. 4 assists on the season, the most for NYCFC II.
McFarland brings it down on the long diagonal. Luke Brennan tracking back to defend. Takes it away from him. 1-2 with Hernandez to get out of trouble. Beer steps up to knock it out for an Atlanta throw.
I want to see how much we see of that tonight, Jason, with the counter pressure. Whenever you do get the ball recovered deep in your own half, both these teams capable of applying that counter pressure and getting it turned over quickly.
Two teams who kind of go about things a little differently, but they both have the same idea. They want the ball and they want to win it back quickly. Hernandez, big switch, comes up short. It's picked off by Hope Gund. Elias gets past Firmino, gets it to Myers, but Firmino caught Elias on the tackle. Free kick NYC.
Elias already really active, finding that pocket of space. Firmino's trying to get to him as a ref wants him to slow it down.
The 20-year-old from New York City has Peruvian descent. Player whose name has come up in the rumor mill as we get ready for the summer transfer window. Clubs all over this hemisphere interested in Piero Elias.
I tell you, Jason, one of the things I really like there is Alan Carlson standing over that ball quickly and not letting them take a forward free kick quickly.
Beer going to take this free kick from about 40 yards out. Lays it off to Housechild. Housechild, long-range shot with the left foot over the bar. Cursory wave from Justin Garces, but it's a goal kick, Atlanta.
You'll take that all day long. From distance is far enough out where Justin Garces is able to get a good eye on it. He can gauge the lift on it, doesn't have to do anything, just kind of wave it as it sails by.
Hernandez, forward to Brennan. Inside to Tiente. Finds Firmino's coming back from an offside position.
You'll play through that counter pressure if you're Atlanta United too and find those opportunities, because if you can play through it like that, you can get a good and odd number rush going in your favor on the going through the final third.
New York plays it quickly over to the left side to Rio Hope Gund, the senior member of this back line, 23 years old. Won a national title at Georgetown. Long diagonal down the right. First time ball inside. Opportunity here for New York. Blocked by Morales. Corner kick for the Pigeons.
Nice work from Morales to get a foot to it and block it. We saw him in the past get beat on those tight situations, and something he's working on as he's transitioned to being really a full-time center back away from the 6 he was coming up through the academy. Interested to see him keep making leaps this year.
7th minute, no score as of yet. New York City with an out-swinging corner from the far side. Looking for options played to the penalty spot. Cleared by McFadden. Brennan with the first touch, trying to get it under control. Bounces off a defender. Here comes Atlanta dribbling out. Brennan, midfield, turns, goes. Dribbles past one, sliding challenge from behind was clean. Atlanta comes away with it on the second time. Firmino over on the right. Driving forward, Nick Firmino lays it off to Hernandez in the 18. Pulls it back. Hernandez, cross, bicycle kick attempt. Doesn't connect. Centeno picks it up on the far side. Atlanta still in possession. Centeno, drop back to McFadden. McFadden skips past one, skips past the second. Cross, blocked, throw, Atlanta.
Well, nice build-up from Atlanta United, too, in the counterattack. Already getting cagey, a lot of hand fighting, a lot of pushing and shoving.
Thrown in, back to Centeno. It's behind him. And he drops it to Morales. Squared inside to the center circle to Tuamasi. Tiente over to the right to Hernandez, back to Tuamasi. Myers defending. Drop back to Garces. Atlanta resets in the middle third. Carlton, Morales, little two-man game. Garces now at the top of the 18. Tuamasi on the right side. Dribbles forward. Up the line to Hernandez. Cuts back inside. Has Tiente there. Back to Hernandez. First time ball inside to Carlton. Flicks it back to Morales. Can Atlanta go down the left now? McFadden. Inside to Carlton. Good ball to Carlton. He turns. Carlton flips it forward. Has Brennan. Brennan brings it down. Luke Brennan saved off the line. Brennan dribbled past the goalkeeper, Yagodayev, but it's saved off the line by Christian McFarland.
Got a little bit of a push in the back, too, did Brennan. Might have been wondering if he could have earned a penalty there. It's a great job of clearing it off the line. It's an amazing pass from Carlton to free him in.
Atlanta throw in quickly. Shot. Saved by Yagodayev. Flag was up. Thought it was going to be as Conway was offside. But a save from Yagodayev there doesn't count, but to get hands on it after getting rattled there early, probably good for the 16-year-old.
It's always a big thing, especially when you're a young goalkeeper, to get that first save. And you'd like it to be easy, but just get a touch in the game. Just get your hands on the ball and feel confident.
Myers lays it off after the long ball from Yagodayev. Over to the left to McFarland. Passed inside to Beer, back to Housechild, up the left side to McFarland. Back to Housechild. Swung over to Baera. First start of the year for Baera. He plays it up the right side. Cross in. Morales has to get a foot to it. He does. Picks out Conway. Conway, heavy ball back to Carlton, but he's able to knock it forward. Firmino heads it forward. Here comes Conway. 3v1 for Atlanta. Outside of the right foot pass across to Brennan. He settles it. Lays it forward to Firmino. Heavy touch from Firmino as he wants to turn the corner out for a goal kick.
Oh, my goodness. It's a 3v1 for Atlanta and just not able to be clean enough on the passing all the way through. Just a little too far out in front of all the balls.
Elias passes out wide to the right. Here comes New York City. Back across to the left. Jimenez skips past him on the wet turf. Atlanta throw.
You'll take that if you're Atlanta. Just a little bit of miscommunication, I think, when they were trying to get reset defensively. New York City might have had an opportunity there, but some sloppy passing.
Atlanta in possession in their defensive third. Efrain Morales over to McFadden. Forward to Conway. He's able to turn. Sliding challenge. Bounces off of Conway into the attacking half, but NYC will settle it. Yagodayev, top of his own 18. Baera dribbles forward a little bit. Has an option in front, uses him. Beer over to the right side to Hope Gund. Baera back across to Housechild on the left. New York City into the middle third now. Housechild back across to Baera.
Might be worth watching Hope Gund there. He looked like he's limping a little bit, maybe pulling at that foot. Might have gotten stuck in a bit on the ground.
I think it was the collision with Conway. NYC with the big switch. McFarland brings it down in the attacking third on the left. Dribbles inside, nowhere to go, lays it off to Elias. Pietro Elias drops it off to Housechild. Fast forward. Carrizo. Elias. Beer. Chips ahead. Headed down. Tumasi gets a boot to it. Volleyed shot from about 25 out. Tumasi blocked it. NYC into the 18 now. Good ball forward from Carrizo. Morales is able to knock it out wide on the right. It's going to be an NYC throw. They take it quickly. Beer. 25 yards out. Played into the 18. Myers trying to turn. Blocked by Tumasi. And it's a goal kick. It came back off of Myers. Big defensive play from Kofi Tumasi.
What a tackle from Tumasi to make himself big. He has to get it right. Gets between the defender and the goal. Ball goes off of him. Ball goes off the attacker, Ball goes off the attacker. And he gets themselves a goal kick. Good little bit of work from NYCFC II in that tight space.
Tumasi, great ball to split the lines to find Firmino. Elias battling with him. Brennan tries to get involved, but Elias is able to knock it back to Housechild.
It's the second or third time Elias has just been lunging at a ball and saved it from possible danger.
Housechild dribbling forward. Big switch to the right now. Comes up short of Hope Gund. McFadden heads it out for an NYC throw. Baera throws it in inside. Carrizo drops it back. Housechild. 1-2 with Beer. Back to Jack Beer. In the center circle. Swings it over to the right. Looking for space. It's not there. Drop back to Beer at midfield. Housechild. Up the left side now. Jimenez. Nowhere to go. Back to Housechild. Housechild wants to dribble this time. He dribbles into the middle. Lays it off to Carrizo. Pops it over to the right side. Opportunity here. Played inside. Sliding challenge from Firmino. Blocks the cross. Corner NYC.
We love to see it from Atlanta United, too. And Firmino tracking all the way back, tracking the runner, not giving him an easy ball into the box.
Adarevalo had turned the corner there. But Firmino, with that long defensive run, makes the play in the 15th minute. No score as of yet. Corner, New York City. Carrizo, top of the 6, headed away by Tuamasi. Battle for it. Hernandez draws the foul as Jimenez was going up for it as well.
It's just a good veteran play as well by Hernandez to feel that contact as he goes up for the header. He knows he's right there, bumps him as he goes up, and you see his body kind of get a little bit of horizontal there. It gets you the foul. It gets you out of trouble.
Yeah, might have been trying to draw that just a little bit, maybe initiating the contact. Smart veteran play from Ronald Hernandez. Kofi Tuamasi off the free kick, dribbling up the right side. Finds Brennan. Brennan knocked over by McFarland. No foul called. Elias comes away with it. Lays it back to Hope Gund.
It's been called pretty loose so far as fouls are concerned. See if people start forcing the issue a bit with the physicality.
Hope Gund, big touch forward, drills it long. Wasn't intending to put that on target. Garces was caught a little by surprise by it. It's out for a goal kick.
Had a little bit of the might have been a lob, might have been a shot kind of vibe to it, but it just kind of floats outside. Good from Garces, though, to measure it.
You're far kinder than I am. I don't think that was in any way a shot or a lob. I think it was just entirely mishit.
It almost worked.
It almost worked. Hernandez bodied off of it by Jimenez. Jimenez on the dribble, draws contact from Tuamasi, no call. Pass inside to Carrizo, behind him. Carlton comes away with it. Jackson Conway dribbling up the left side now. Has runners. Centeno wants to turn, can't get around Baera, and the last touch is off of Centeno. Throw in inside to Elias now. 17th minute, New York City in possession in their own half, no score. Had to wait a while to get this one started with weather in the area. Shouldn't have any more the rest of the night, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, don't say that out loud.
Yagudayev squares it over to the left. Housechild and now Beer. Jack Beer, another one of the multiple Georgetown Hoyas in this NYCFC II side. Housechild drops it back to Yagudayev. Near midfield, the NYC goalkeeper. Hope Gund. Over to the left to Beer. Beer has some space now. Dribbles forward. Firmino steps to defend. Beer chips it into the 18. Headed away by Tuamasi. Carlton spins around. Has Tony Tiente with it. Hits the brakes. Gives it back to Carlton. Over to the left to McFadden. Back inside to Alan Carlton. Good turn from Carlton to open up to Firmino, but it skips away from him on the wet turf. The turn from Carlton was nice. He overhit the pass just a little. Drop back to Housechild. Played inside to Elias. Rio Hope Gund. Passes inside to Carrizo. Drop back to Elias, dropping between the center backs. Cut over to Housechild. Atlanta defending well. They're not giving any spaces for NYC, obvious ones anyway. Baera out wide on the right. Drops it to Carrizo. He dumps it into the corner, but McFadden's going to get there first. Great turn from Aiden as he turns upfield. Tries to pass it forward to Conway, who's bodied off of that. No foul. Rio Hope Gund defending.
He said he'd been calling it loose, and the ref's been having some fun with the fans as well. But it's the physicality ramps up. You also have to manage in case it gets a little bit chippy.
Carrizo, 1-2. Adarevalo into the 18. Drops it back to Baera. Cross, back post. Hernandez heads it away at the back post. Had to intervene there as Jimenez had taken up a great spot. Corner, NYC.
It's a great bit of work from NYC in tight space once again in the final third. Work the ball out to the right-hand side. Work it back. Change the angle. Ball goes to the back post. And you said it, Hernandez, it's a great job. When you want to flick that header, you want to flick it not back towards the middle of the box, but you want to get it out of there.
19th minute. Third corner of the night for New York City. Driven in, top of the 6. Header saved by Garces. Cleared by Tiente. NYC still in possession. They're going to run this one down on the far side.
Garces got caught in between. He started to come, then he got back into space. Not sure who that came off of, but a great job of sticking that big paw out there.
I think it might have come off of one of his own defenders.
I think it did too.
It's dropped back by Beer to Hope Gund. He's slowed up by Firmino. Has to play it back to the goalkeeper, Iago Dayev. 16-year-old academy product for NYC. Confident with the ball at his feet. Needs some passing options. Gets one from Jack Beer. Drop back to Housechild. Blocked by Brennan, but it goes back to Iago Dayev. He sprays this up the right side. Header won by McFadden, and it goes off of Baera. Throw Atlanta.
It's a bold decision to go for anything in the air when Aiden McFadden's in the area, but Atlanta's dared them to at times. You talk about how solid they've been defensively. One thing they have offered NYC is a really risky, long, low percentage diagonal.
McFadden will take in the throw at midfield. Throws it into Tiente. Back to McFadden. Closed down quickly. Fouled. Free kick Atlanta. McFadden wants to play it quickly. Arevalo tried to dribble away with the ball. McFadden shoved him. Arevalo went down like he had been hit with a baseball bat. McFadden demonstrating how easily Arevalo fell down. That was entertaining, Aiden. Referee's just going to tell both of them to knock it off here, I think.
Yeah, I think he understands what just happened. You had a player try and dribble it that way. We talked about it with the way Allen stood over the ball earlier. You're not going to let him take the free kick quickly. That's just good work. And then you get the pratfall.
McFadden dribbles around the pressure from Carrizo, cuts it back to Garces. 21st minute. Kofi Tumasi. Up the right side to Brennan at midfield. Brennan, Firmino, back to Brennan. Forward looking for Hernandez, didn't connect. Housechild clears. Tumasi wins the header in front of Myers. Tiente brings it down, squares it over to Carlton. Gets by him, but Morales is there. 1-2 with Conway. Out wide to McFadden. Back to Efrain. Tries to dribble past Myers, can't do it. Myers comes away with it down the right. Lays it off inside to Carrizo. Carrizo wanting to load up the left foot. Lays it off instead to Jimenez. One more time to McFarland. Cross, back post over the head of Myers. He's going to run this down in the corner, defended by McFadden. McFadden knocks it out for an NYC throw. Dicey there, but Atlanta recovered.
And it's a bad giveaway by Efra, but it's a good recovery. He didn't give up on the play. He stayed with his man. Everybody stepped to their man and forced the passes all the way outside to a low percentage cross.
NYC off the throw has to go back to midfield with no options to keep moving forward. Hope Gund. Back to Iago Dayev. Over to the right to Hope Gund. Long up the right side over the head of McFadden. Trying to turn. He does. Cuts it back to Myers. Shot. Goal. 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 NYC. A great counter out of nothing. Myers puts it away for his 8th goal of the season.
Well, NYC's been dangerous on those opportunities where they've been able to get numbers going forward, and we talked about it, Jason, that Matt Myers is one to watch. He had 2 goals last week in their loss to Columbus. Right there, it's cut back nicely at the edge of the 6, and he doesn't get it wrong.
The Philadelphia Academy product, Matt Myers, started his college journey at High Point, finished it at Rutgers, drafted by NYC, and signed to the second team. 8 goals now on the season. And it's a great ball down the right side that got over everyone's head. Rio Hope Gunn delivered it. Maximo Carrizo, the 15-year-old, got in behind and was able to save it off the end line, cutting the cross back. 1-0 NYC, 24th minute now. Garces, top of his own 18. Tumasi. Forward to Tiente. Curls around to the left. Squares it over to the outside to Efrain Morales. Passes up the line to Firmino. Or Centeno cutting back. Drops it back to Morales. Inside, risky ball, but Tumasi's there. Kofi, long diagonal up the right side to Brennan. McFarland steps in front of him, wins the header. Hernandez settles it at midfield. It's knocked out for a throw by Jimenez. Carlton, Firmino, back to Carlton, back to Twumasi. NYC, buoyed by that goal. They're pressing high. They force a turnover. Twumasi gives it away. Jimenez inside to Myers. Heavy touch, looks for the foul, finds it. Twumasi stepped in a little too aggressively. Myers got bailed out with the foul. Free kick 35 yards out for NYC.
He gets bailed out by it. There is contact, but you've also called the game loose to that point, and Myers is looking for it.
He is looking for it. He absolutely is, but there was contact. Beer will take the free kick. Two-man wall for Atlanta. Carlton and Brennan. Looks like Carlton's going to peel off. It'll just be Brennan. Would assume this is on the outside edge of Jack Beer's range here for a free kick. Brennan does come back in to create a two-man wall. NYC with a player right in front of the wall as well. Beer chips it to the back post over everyone, but McFadden doesn't get the message. Don't know if Garces was calling out loud enough. McFadden heads it out for a corner.
Yeah, it looked like it's one of those where you're trying to float that free kick to the far post, maybe get the header back across into the mix, but nobody made the far post run. Just no one told Aiden McFadden.
Yeah, that's one where Garces has to be really vocal. Didn't hear anything, didn't see any movements from him to indicate he was trying to call him off. Corner on the far side for NYC, 26th minute. Outswinger, whistle blown. Here we go. Play to the corner of the 6, headed on. Comes off of Morales. Conway blocks a follow-up cross. NYC will try it all over again.
Starting to ratchet up a lot of the hand fighting in the box. The refs already had to step in and mention it once.
Outswinger from the far side. Beer to deliver this one. Play to the top of the 6. Header wide. McFadden trying to run it down. And he's able to clear, and he's fouled. Piero Elias with the late challenge. Free kick Atlanta. First half action presented by Kaiser Permanente. Thank you so much to Kaiser Permanente for helping soccer down here cover soccer at every single level in the state of Georgia. Atlanta plays short off the free kick. They move it over to the left side looking for Centeno, knocked out for a throw. Morales is going to leave it as McFadden comes back across. He'll take the throw.
Almost seem fine slowing things down right now. It's been a lot of New York City's way with mistakes from Atlanta in the last attempts at possession. Maybe slow things down and get things built back up.
McFadden up the line looking for Conway. It's over his head. Sliding challenge by Carlton helps win it back for Atlanta. Firmino, a little too ambitious there in the challenge, commits a foul. Free kick NYC near midfield.
He just gets his legs tangled in the middle third.
It's going to be a free kick New York City. Beer was the one who was fouled that time. Hope Gund will take the free kick.
I wonder if this is the last warning that Aiden's going to get.
Yeah, I think that's for dissent behind the play. Hope Gund cuts the free kick back to Yagodayev. Edge of the center circle. To his left, a Housechild. Dribbles past Brennan. Blocked by Conway. Throw NYC on the near side near midfield. McFarland. Back to Housechild. 28th minute. Yagodayev. 1-0 New York City. Myers with the goal. Hope Gund. Yagodayev. Back to Hope Gund on the right. Defensive half possession here. Hope Gund in a little bit of trouble. He's able to find Housechild with the split. Over to the left. McFarland now. Dribbles into the attacking half. Big switch. Comes up short. McFadden chests it down. Carlton. First time ball out wide to the left. Centeno. Forward to Firmino. Firmino. Tries to slip a pass through for Centeno. It's knocked back to Yagodayev by Hope Gund. Elias turns just outside of the top of his 18. Over to the right side to Catarizo. Pressure from Conway, but NYC still in possession. Advantage played. Beer was knocked over by Jackson Conway. Back to Housechild. Brennan pressures. Housechild able to deal with it well. 1-2 with Elias. Big switch down the right now. Arevalo dribbling in. McFadden defending. Cross back post. Jimenez can't turn it on goal. Goal kick.
Well, they keep going down that long ball to the right-hand side to NYC. And Housechild's been put under pressure by Luke Brenner a lot, but he's passed all the tests. It's a great long ball down the right-hand side. And then it's almost a brilliant cross that is turned in by Jimenez just outside the post.
Yeah, Alexander Housechild has been very impressive as the left-sided center back for NYC, the 17-year-old from Connecticut. Atlanta, high pressure from NYC. Atlanta plays out of it. Tuamasi plays long. Brennan is grabbed by McFarland. Foul is called.
We've seen that script before.
Yeah, Christian McFarland going for the do-si-do. Fans are correct in saying you can't do that. Ref doesn't want to give the yellow yet. Free kick. Tiente. Carlton. Tiente. Turns and dribbles forward. Big switch. Looking for Firmino. Hope Gund heads it back to Yagodayev. He's able to come out and claim it. Rolls it out short. Housechild. Over to the left to McFarland. Cuts this inside for Myers. He wants to flick it on. Can't do it. Morales, good defending. Carlton. Firmino. McFarland clears. Only as far as Tiente. Tiente up the right side to Hernandez. Cut off by McFarland. Laid back to McFarland. Tiente pressing. Doesn't come off. Here comes Jack Beer. Passed across to the right side to Catarizo. Down the right side to Baera. 31st minute. NYC in the attacking half now. Carrizo. Arevalo. Out wide to Baera. Fouled by Centeno. Yellow card to Centeno. Free kick NYC. A little bit of frustration there from Centeno.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think he gets him. He catches him with the foul, but then kind of the push down at the end there. It's not necessary from Centeno in the 32nd minute.
Centeno with the yellow. Free kick NYC out wide on the right. 32nd minute now. You never know how these games are going to go when you have that long delay to start it. NYC hasn't seemed too affected by it. Beer standing over this one. Catarizo is there as well. Whistle blown. It's Catarizo. Drives this to the back post. Firmino has to bring it down in traffic and clear. Kind of an awkward one, but Firmino was able to get that out of the 18. Elias crossed back in. Right to Garces. Justin Garces surveying his options.
It's good work from Atlanta United there to handle both the initial set piece and then the recycled ball as well. What didn't let it become too dangerous.
Tiente over to Hernandez. Ronald Hernandez, first action in MLS Next Pro this season. Cuts it back to Garces. Over to the left to Morales, who drives forward. McFadden now. McFadden, Centeno. Dribbling past traffic, gets tripped up. Is that going to be a yellow? Yes, it is. That is Piero Elias who picks up the yellow.
They're starting to rack up a couple fouls in the game. Starting to see a couple of fouls pick up with multiple fouls showing up around guys' names. And as the cards start flowing, I'm sure we'll see the coaches as well start to hold up numbers. That's that guy's second, that guy's third.
Jose Silva in charge of Atlanta United 2 tonight. Steve Cook out on yellow card accumulation. Atlanta free kick, 10 yards inside their own half. Efrain Morales standing over it. Forward to Carlton. Across to Tuamasi. Kofi Tuamasi dribbling forward into the attacking half now. Brennan Spins it to the outside. Down the line for Conway. Conway can't get there in front of Housechild. Atlanta throw. Brennan's going to lead the throw for Ronald Hernandez. Throws it in corner of the 18. Brennan tries to flick it forward. Wanted a handball. Didn't get it. NYC clears. Over the head of Myers. Tumasi brings it down. Drops it back to Morales. Into the 35th minute now. 1-0 NYC. Efrain Morales dribbles into the attacking half. It's cut back to McFadden. Centeno spins around Elias, who just dumps him to the ground. Elias just picked up a yellow. That was risky.
Foolish.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just the foul, but it's the extra shove with the left arm.
It's the foul from behind with the shove of the left arm after you just picked up a card.
Yeah, Dopka kind of stared at him after that one. Big switch off the free kick to Brennan. Brennan wants to turn on McFarland. Has to dribble backwards. Actually dribbled out. Looked like it was right on the line. It was really close. Our AR, Rebecca Luther, a lot closer than we are to that. Signaled an NYC throw.
I'll trust her eyes over mine. It looked like it held the line, but she's the one standing right there on it.
McFarland drops it back to Housechild under pressure from Brennan. Has Elias there inside. Out wide to McFarland. Still pressure by Brennan. Housechild. Still pressure by Brennan. Forces the turnover. Midfield, McFadden wins it back. Carlton. Passed forward looking for Firmino, but Elias knocks it away. Carlton wins the tackle. Firmino turns, drives, pulls it up, corner of the 18. Cuts it inside to Carlton. Carlton, right-footed curling effort, saved by Yagodayev.
Well, like Carlton's plant foot maybe slipped on him a little bit there. It's a speculative effort at best, but hey, you get a shot on goal.
One hopper, not an easy one for Yagodayev on a wet field. Firmino pressuring Baera, forces the turnover, but NYC gets the fortunate deflection, goes their way. Adarivalo. Carrizo. Beer up the left side now. Jimenez dribbling inside. Lays it off for Beer. Beer, 35 yards from goal, passed inside to Jimenez. He spins to his right. Baera back to Elias. Forward to Myers. Lays it off. Jimenez looking for the foul, doesn't find it. Centeno looking for the foul, doesn't find it. Throw in NYC.
Might have been a little bit of contact there, but not enough.
Hope Gund inside to Maximo Carrizo, the 15-year-old NYC homegrown. Spent time with both the U.S. and Argentine youth national teams. Housechild. 1-2 with Beer. Back to Yagodayev, edge of the center circle. Back to Housechild. Beer, attacking half now, NYC. Back to Housechild. Back to Beer. Back to Housechild.
The fans screaming chug every time Beer touches the ball. They're having a good time.
It is MLS Next Pro After Dark, Jarrett.
We tried to warn everyone.
Hernandez clears, but it's only as far as Piero Elias. Here comes Beer. Driving forward. Beer, top of the 18. Shot blocked by Tuamasi. Tiente settles it. Dribbles forward. Has Conway. Conway gives it back to Tiente. Pass deflected. Baera finds it and knocks it inside to Hope Gund. 38th minute. Housechild. McFarland. Beer. Hope Gund. NYC in their own half. Yagodayev. Back to Housechild. He drives forward. Brennan pressuring. Conway there too. Foul by Conway coming across, I think. Could have been on Brennan. I think it's Conway who got him. NYC takes the free kick quickly. Piero Elias, too quickly, blasts it forward into the hands of Justin Garces.
I think Elias got caught between ideas. He had a runner if he wanted to hit that diagonal far to the outside.
Carlton's got a runner down the right, Luke Brennan. Brennan with McFarland. Wants to spin back inside. McFarland got the body position on him and knocked it inside to Elias. Really good defending from Christian McFarland. Elias drops it back to Housechild, swings it over to the right side to Carrizo. He turns, spins, drives forward. Maximo Carrizo passes outside, nobody home. McFadden steps in front. Firmino spins it midfield, goes to the outside. Dueling with Hope Gund. Last touch off of Firmino. NYC takes the throw quickly. It's back to Yagodayev.
Thank you, Jason. NYCFC's defensive back line has answered pretty much every test that has been asked of them so far. Hope Gunn, good work there. Housechild's been good on the ball as well.
40th minute, 1-0 NYC. Myers with the goal. Yagodayev in possession in his own half. Beer squares it off to Housechild, who is not of age to chug. Passed forward to Twumasi. Not the intended target. Conway comes away with it. Drops it back to Brennan. Up the line to Hernandez. Inside to Brennan. Down the line for Hernandez. Housechild slides there and gets to it just in front of Ronald Hernandez. Attacking third throw on the right for Atlanta. Throw in, drop back to Tiente. 1-2 with Conway. Tony Tiente looking for options. Drops it to Carlton. Over to McFadden, who tucked in a little bit that time. Morales. Over to the right to Tiente. Spins back into the center circle. Drops it to Twumasi. 1-2 with Conway. Here comes Kofi on the dribble. Slips it over to Brennan. Brennan, cross, chested down by Rio Hope Gund to Yagodayev. Twumasi and Elias collided on that dribbling run from Kofi. Piero Elias back to his feet eventually, and Yagodayev eventually falls on it.
That's an 83rd minute kind of slow down by Yagodayev. Impressive.
16 years old. He's learning.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, take your time, slow it down when you're feeling pressure.
Beer drops it back to Hope Gund. Inside to Yagodayev. Higher pressure from Atlanta now. Squared to the left to Housechild. Into the center circle off of the face of Morales. Myers wanted the foul, didn't get it. NYC comes away with it. Here comes Myers. Arevalo played him in. Myers into the 18. Cuts across back. Twumasi intervenes and had to get it right. He did. Able to pick out Carlton at the top of his own 18. Here comes Alan Carlton leading the break. Inside to Firmino. 1-2 back to Carlton. Now Hernandez in the center circle. Ronald Hernandez. 5v4 Atlanta. Hernandez, long shot wide of the far post. Goal kick.
Well, a couple guys to keep an eye on there for NYCFC. Elias wasn't really part of that counterattack. I think he's still feeling something from that collision in the middle of the field. And then, coming up in the attack there, I believe that was Arevalo just still was down in Atlanta's goal mouth for a good 20 seconds.
He's hunched over a little bit at midfield. We're into the 42nd minute, almost the 43rd. Yagodayev, goal kick short to Housechild. He plays long looking for Myers. Twumasi steps in front. Clears it, but only as far as Carrizo. Big switch. Jimenez is onside down the left. Jimenez into the attacking third. 1v1 with Hernandez. Jimenez cuts to the right. Jimenez, one more touch to the right. Two more touches to the right. Shot blocked. Too many touches to the right. Twumasi was able to defend. Centeno dispossessed. Cross to the back post. Nobody home. It's going to be a goal kick. Atlanta wanted that initial ball offside, but Jimenez was onside.
It was really close, and it's one of those if you think it's off, you still got to go. Until you hear the whistle, you have to treat everything like it is onside. And it's a good job of just shepherding him across. Hernandez gets pushed across the top of the box, doesn't leave his foot out there to pick up the foul.
Tiente spins it forward to Conway. He's fouled in the middle third. Housechild brings him down. Conway wants a yellow. Housechild doesn't get one, but he does get a finger wag. Greg Dopka didn't really care for that kind of a foul from Housechild, but not enough for the yellow yet.
Can finger wags be redeemed?
No.
Oh, okay.
Morales slips a pass inside. Carrizo intercepts. Conway comes across to help win it back. Elias still a little slow.
It's a risky reach from Elias, too, on a yellow card, already slow.
Brennan down the right side for Hernandez. Cross, near post, cleared by Hope Gund. McFarland leaves the pass short. Brennan intercepts. 44th minute. Luke Brennan down the right, dancing forward. Gets past Jimenez and fouled. Free kick Atlanta. Attacking third, maybe 20 yards from the end line, but out wide on the right.
Honestly, kind of wonder where the card is on that one as well, though, because that's an opportunity. If he gets past him, he's got a chance to put a clean cross in. Instead, leg gets stuck out there and brings him down.
I think it's just a foul. I honestly think it's just a foul. It's not a transition one. I was looking more for the yellow on Housechild in the transition moment.
Well,
I think that's just a foul
that.
where Brennan catches him. Free kick Atlanta out wide on the right. Carlton over it. Hernandez spins away to the left. Two-man wall, which is a little surprising.
Everyone learning the exact measurement of 10 yards.
Alan Carlton will deliver for Atlanta. McFadden is on the near post. See if he makes a run there or makes a run to the back. Whistle blown. Alan Carlton swings it over to the back post, headed away. Brennan, shot blocked, corner Atlanta. Brennan tried to hit that from 25, and it was deflected. Carlton will take the corner.
It's good work from NYC to close out. Got 1 minute of stoppage time.
Carlton will take the corner once he finds a match ball over there in the corner.
These will be tricky. There's a lot of sand down there in that corner.
Corners are suffering here a little bit in Kennesaw. Carlton will try to find good footing here. Delivers low near post. Cleared by Adarvallo. Only as far as Brennan. Brennan defended by Carrizo. Great ball down the right to Carlton. Carlton fouled by Jimenez, but it's not called.
Wow.
Carlton looking for it, maybe looking a little too hard, but I think there was contact there from Jimenez.
Even though he's looking for it, if there's contact, it's a foul.
I think there's enough contact for that foul.
We just had the conversation about 15 minutes ago. When you're looking for it and there's contact, it's still a foul. That's one that's okay.
Yeah, not so sure about that one. Dopka says he's seen enough. That's the end of the half. Kind of a weird way to end it. Atlanta with some questions on a couple of decisions that didn't go their way. NYC probably pretty happy with the 1-0 lead as we go to the break. We'll be back with some first half stats and more right after this on the SDH Network.
Welcome back to Kennesaw, Fifth Third Bank Stadium. The side of tonight's MLS Next Pro matchup, Atlanta United 2, NYCFC 2. NYCFC with a 1-0 lead at halftime. A goal from Matt Myers, more specifically, 22nd minute. It was Andrew Baera who had the assist on the goal that has separated us so far. Taking a look, though, at the stats as we kind of peel this onion apart. The first half is kind of a cagey half. You had a number of fouls. You had some cards in it. You had a lot of stop and start. It's kind of been a weird game, partially because it started an hour and a half late. It didn't get started until almost 9 o'clock this evening, and both teams kind of had some stops and starts. NYC leading the way on shots, 7-4. Atlanta had more shots on target, 2-1. NYC's one is the one that counted, though. And the big chances, Atlanta United had one, which they missed, and NYC hasn't generated one. But, however, they were able to generate that long ball down the right that was cut back to Matt Myers. He was able to put it away and give the visitors the lead after 45 minutes. As far as possession goes, NYC 54% of the ball, Atlanta 46%. It's not a position Atlanta's used to being in at home. We'll see how they adjust in the second half. We'll see how game state changes. We talk about it all the time, but goals change games. So we'll see how NYC handles this as the game goes on, and how they deal with Atlanta ratcheting up the pressure as Atlanta has options to bring on off the bench. It'll also be interesting to see from New York City, how they deal with the defensive side of things, because going back to the game in Columbus last week where they give up 3 goals. Before that, they had given up just 2 goals in the last 2 matches and seemed to have been solidifying defense, but it's a young defensive line tonight doing the job for NYCFC so far. Really impressive from Alexander Housechild. Baera is good as well. Hope Gund was very strong, especially getting forward down the right-hand side. And Christian McFarland doing a lot of work, having to deal with Luke Brennan, which is a task we've seen a number of players struggle with this season. Taking a look around the conference and a look at the scores that are going on right now, games that are concluded this evening. Talked about earlier, Columbus with a 1-0 win over Huntsville City. Charlotte with 4-2 victory over Chicago. San Jose 2-1 over Houston. It was the Baby Bulls with a 3-1 victory over Cincinnati 2. SKC with a 1-1 draw with North Texas. SKC won that on penalties 5-4. As far as the games that are still in action, in the 54th minute, Colorado has flipped the game on its head against Los Dos with a 2-1 lead. Again, 54th minute just after halftime there. 44th minute approaching halftime. Portland hosting Salt Lake City 2. Portland with a 2-1 lead. And coming up in about 10 or 15 minutes, give or take, depending on the weather, Tacoma and Austin will get things underway to wrap up the weekend out in Tacoma, just south of Seattle and Washington. Well, we've seen the stats. We've seen 45 minutes. We'll see what the rest of it holds here at Fifth Third Bank Stadium. We'll be back with the second half in just a bit. Thanks for listening to the SDH Network.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces. Just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Attention high school sports fans, are you an armchair official? You know, the parent or fan who constantly yells at the referees and loves to let everyone know just how bad you think they are. Well, if you think you could do better, then get in the game and prove it. It's time for you to suit up and make the calls where they actually count. Every sport in Georgia needs more officials. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
In a world where you can choose to be anything, why not choose a career that you can be proud of? We are the Georgia Department of Transportation, and we make traveling possible. Georgia DOT is currently hiring heroes, highway emergency response operators, that make sure you can safely go where you need to be. Georgia needs you. Come be a part of a team that keeps us moving forward. Be a road warrior. Apply today at careers.georgia.gov. That's careers.georgia.gov.
Hey, hon, what you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking it questions.
Like what?
Hey, Bobo, do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Kennesaw GA. Atlanta United 2 trailing NYCFC 2 1-0. Matchday 16 for Atlanta this season. 5-5-5 coming into it. We'll see what they can do here in the second half. Jason Longshore alongside Jarrett Smith. And Jarrett, what adjustments do you need to see from Atlanta United 2 in the second 45?
I want to see him be a little bit quicker on the ball at times, and especially getting forward. I thought we got a really good bit of combination play down the right-hand side as the half went on, especially with Ronald Hernandez, Luke Brennan, Jackson Conway, and the way that they were able to find bits of space. Interested to see how they're able to build on that, to see if we kind of move guys around a bit, if they start to find different spaces, and see what we see off the bench as well. You do have attacking threats off the bench. David Mejia is out there, Kareem Tamimi, Johnny Vial. All of these guys could factor in.
No changes for Atlanta to start the second half. Doesn't appear to be any for NYC either. They've caught us by surprise a few times this season. No indication of subs at the break. See if that holds true. Our referee, Greg Dopka, checking the watch, making sure it's set correctly, and let's kick it for 45 more minutes from Fifth Third Bank Stadium. Housechild plays long off the kickoff for NYC. Twumasi heads it forward. Carlton chests it down. Picks out Conway near midfield. Tries to cut it over to the right. That's intercepted by McFarland. Christian McFarland, the homegrown signing for NYC at 16 years old. Born in England, moved to New York at a young age. He's been very impressive at left back tonight for NYCFC II. Their goalkeeper, the 16-year-old Alexander Yagudayev, cuts it over to Housechild. Housechild with the long ball down the middle. Otterivalo tucks inside, brings it down, dribbles forward, plays it down the left side. Cross, gets by Garces, gets by everybody, goal kick. I don't think that was a shot, Jared. I think it was a cross that was a poor one.
Yeah, I think it was as well. It's a good long ball. It seemed to catch Atlanta a little bit in between where they wanted to be, and it splits the center backs, and NYC is able to create a bit of something with it, but thankfully for Atlanta, goes out for no harm, no foul.
Otterivalo tucked inside that time and had a lot of space to bring that down and dribble forward. Atlanta off of the goal kick short. McFadden back to Morales. Back inside the 18 to Garces. 47th minute, Garces over to Twumasi on the right. Kofi dribbling forward. Up the right side to Hernandez. Inside to Tiente. Squares it to Carlton. One more time to Morales. Up the left side to Aiden McFadden. McFadden tries to drive it down the left side for the run of Firmino. Comes up short. Baera got there first for NYC. Beer over the top. McFadden running back, able to head it back to Garces. Now, it took a funny hop on him, but McFadden got enough power on that header to get it back to Justin Garces. Rolled out short to Morales. Passed forward to Tiente. Swung over to the left to Aiden McFadden. Drop back to Morales. Morales fakes one way, dribbles the other. Now goes back to Garces. Over to the right side, Twumasi. Passes to Conway. Back to Twumasi. Creating a little bit of space to get forward into. Alan Carlton. Spins to his right. Morales. McFadden. Cuts inside. McFadden looking for the switch. It's not on. Plays it short to Firmino. Back to McFadden. Tiente. Big switch from Tony Tiente to Ronald Hernandez. Brings it down in the attacking half. Passes inside to Carlton. Square to the left to Tiente. Forward to Centeno. Back intended for Tiente, but it goes to Morales instead. Tiente up the left side. McFadden. Run from Centeno. Didn't play him. Good cross from McFadden. Conway goes up for it. Header goes back from Housechild to Yagudayev.
It's good work from Atlanta in possession there. It was solid possession. Kept pushing New York further and further back.
Atlanta pressuring NYC. Header won by Morales in the center circle. Foul called as Pietro Elias goes down.
Both go up for that one. It's Elias who comes off a little worse for wear. He took a couple knocks in the first half as well.
Over to the left side, McFarland cuts it back to Housechild. The teenage defensive group for NYC has held up pretty well tonight. Yagudayev, top of his own 18. 50th minute, 1-0 to the Pigeons. Yagudayev long looking for Myers. He flicks it forward. Jimenez can't get on it as Morales clears it. Conway brings it down in front of Elias. Lays it off to Hernandez. Attacking half now, Atlanta.
I love that matchup for Atlanta. If you can get a body like Conway on Elias, who's already on a yellow card, see if you can create something.
Carlton loses an edge, loses possession. Here comes NYC. Driving forward. Laid off to Adarevalo. Shot. Goal. 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 NYCFC II. Alan Carlton slipped, and NYC punished them for the mistake.
Well, we talked about the playing surface, as much rain as we had, and Carlton blows a tire there, and it's an unfortunate spot to have it happen because then it becomes an odd rush for NYCFC.
It's one that'll drive you crazy. A good start to the second half for Atlanta, and Alan Carlton's been really good tonight. Slips and loses his footing, and that allows NYC to drive forward with numbers. Laid off to Adarevalo, and he's able to finish it for his second goal of the season. The Salvadoran Youth International, 20 years old, originally from New Jersey, and that gives NYC the cushion as Atlanta's really got to start opening things up here in the second half.
Well, they got bodies warming up on the sideline, does Atlanta. Looks like it's Tamimi and Johnny Vial getting loose. I wonder how long until you start seeing those changes.
Kickoff, drop back to Tiente. McFadden. Carlton. Over to the right to Hernandez. Hernandez long down the right side. Conway, flag goes up.
Conway got going just a little bit quickly there. Did a good job of running it along the back line and then just cut it upfield a little bit too quickly before the ball could go off the foot.
Baerra on the opposite side almost kept him on. But Conway got to step in behind. Housechild, free kick, back to Yagudayev. Yagudayev through the middle, headed forward, looking for Myers. Tuamasi gets to the spot first. Passes forward to Hernandez. Carlton scoops it forward to Brennan. Brennan heads it on over the head of Conway. Hope Gun plays it back to Yagudayev. Firmino chasing. Yagudayev with fancy footwork to dribble past. Through the middle, Myers knocks it down. Adarevalo overhits the pass intended for Myers. Garces picks it up. Thrown out to the left to McFadden. Passed forward to Firmino. Firmino finds Centeno down the left side. Here comes Atlanta United 2 into the attacking third. Centeno into the 18. Cut back to his right foot. Can't get on it. Great work by Pietro Elias to just body him off. Atlanta regains possession in the center circle. Tuamasi intercepted. Here comes Firmino now forward. Centeno out wide on the left. Defended by Adarevalo. Centeno able to turn and hack down badly by Adarevalo. It's going to be a free kick, Atlanta, but that's got to be a yellow card.
That is an awful foul. That's straight leg out.
Adarevalo with possibly studs up, definitely straight leg. Looked like he caught Centeno on the ankle as he turned the corner. Shocked that's not a yellow with some of the yellows we've seen in this one.
Oh, and it's a corner. It's not even a foul. It's
Doesn't
a corner.
Even call the foul.
It's not even a foul.
Wow.
That is shocking.
Wow. I thought he got him. Even if he doesn't get him, with the way he slides in, that's got to be a foul. That's got to be a yellow, and it's neither. Corner Atlanta from the near side. Alan Carlton to take. Carlton, top of the six, header over the bar from Firmino. Actually deflected off a Hope Gund, so it'll be another corner for Atlanta.
I think it was Morales who got ahead to that before it went off a Hope Gund.
McFadden knocks it down top of the 18 off of the corner from Carlton. Cleared by NYC. Ronald Hernandez. Runs it down, resets back to Garces in his own half. 54th minute, 2-0 NYC. Big switch from Garces for Brennan. Skips past two, out for an NYC throw.
Be an interesting point as well. If Atlanta earns more corners on that end of the field, you don't have the sandbox. Maybe a little bit better footing for delivery.
Thrown in by McFarland. He gets it back from Housechild. Drop back to Housechild. He clears. Myers able to bring it down in the middle third. Knocks it over to Carrizo. Maximo Carrizo. Big switch from him with the left foot. Arevalo down the right side for NYC. Dribbling on McFadden. Cuts inside. Left-footed shot. Deflected. Caught by Garces.
Seen that a couple times from NYC, trying to get outside, then cut inside on the foot. It's a good job of making the shot tame.
The inverted wingers for NYC, they tuck inside. They're causing Atlanta some problems. Firmino looked like he was fouled initially, and he's going to be called for the foul as he was being dragged down, and he's going to get a yellow card.
There's some decisions in the last few minutes of this game of Firmino getting pulled down as he's getting pulled down.
Baffling. Absolutely baffling. Atlanta's going to make subs here. Carlton will come off.
Atlanta United 2 substitutions here in the 56th minute. Exiting the match, number 18, Alan Carlton. Entering the match, number 9,
Carlton off, Tamimi on, Centeno off, Vial on. See how this shakes out. That could change the shape a little bit.
Vial, if you're not familiar, very crafty, small, quick, very good dribbler, very good playmaker, especially in space. Tamimi been very goal dangerous as the season has gone on, gives you another body up top potentially.
Beer will take the free kick for NYC. Chipped into the 18. Back post, headed away by Firmino. Tamimi can't run that one down. It's going to be an NYC throw in the attacking third on the left. Thrown in on the far side. McFarland will do that. McFarland throws it in, corner of the 18. Dropped off by Myers. Foul called. Tumasi earns it. Free kick Atlanta.
That's a stop-start affair if that's what it gets into. Exactly what New York City needs with a 2-0 lead on the road is to keep this game from having a flow.
Tumasi drives it forward. Conway goes up for it. Housechild wins the initial header. Tamimi brings it down at midfield. Tamimi playing underneath Conway. A little bit of a 4-4-1-1 here for Atlanta. Tiente. Over to Firmino. Firmino. Long down the right side for Luke Brennan. Brennan into the attacking third down the right. Brennan pulls it back. 1v1 with McFarland. Takes it back to the end line. Cross. Top of the 6. Falls to Vial on the back post. Johnny Vial tripped up in the 18. Penalty Atlanta United 2. Johnny Vial gets Andrew Baera leaning. Maybe the first touch from Vial wasn't the cleanest, but he got Baera leaning, commits the foul. Penalty, Atlanta will have it here. Conway will take it.
No matter how unclean that was, the trap that Vial pulled to bring that ball to a stop, put it in the High Museum, please.
Jackson Conway looking for his second goal of the season. 4th game, second start. Alexander Yagudayev will try to deny him. Conway. Standing over it, short run up for Conway. Jackson Conway approaches. Goal, goal, goal! Atlanta United 2. It's Jackson Conway with his 25th goal for the Twos in his young career.
Hey, man, it's a short run-up. He does the thing you talk about, Jason. He picks a spot and he hits it hard, and keeper doesn't get a finger to it. Right back in it now at 2-1, and the game has life again.
MLS Next Pro After Dark has been achieved. 10-11 on the clock. We've still got over 30 minutes to play, and it's 2-1 NYC with Atlanta United 2 with momentum now. Hernandez wins it back off of the kickoff. NYC comes away with it. Myers lays it off. Cross, back post. McFadden heads it away. Jimenez tries to bring it down. Loose touch. Falls to Conway. Conway being hounded by Jimenez. He's able to turn to the outside. Great turn from Jackson Conway. Finds Tamimi in the center circle. Here comes Atlanta United 2. Johnny Viall down the left. Viall dribbling on Baera. Viall cuts inside. Viall skies the shot. Couldn't get over it, but Johnny Viall, the little spark plug, has brought life to Atlanta United 2.
Well, Uncle Mo is in the building, and he's wearing red and black right now, and it is all downhill for Atlanta United 2 in their favor. What a great run by Viall. Just looks like he clipped it with the outside of his boot and unable to keep that on frame.
Hope Gunn plays it through the middle. Carrizo flicks it out wide to Baera. Good pass from Baera forward. Adarivalo now driving in through the middle. Adarivalo lays it off to Jimenez. Out wide on the left for NYC. Into the 18. Adarivalo turns inside. Passes to Myers. Morales trying to defend. Can't do it. Garces knocks the cross down. Tiente clears. Firmino passes inside to Viall. Here comes Atlanta United 2 as Johnny Viall driving forward now. Viall has the run of Brennan. Plays it inside. Brennan into the 18. Brennan flicks to the back post. Yagudayev got a touch to it and was able to get it back from Housechild. What a play by the 16-year-old goalkeeper.
They do not know what to do with Johnny Viall right now, but Atlanta's got to make it pay off here for a second goal.
2-1 NYC. Pigeons in possession in the middle third. Now on the right with Baera. 61st minute. Baera 1-2 with Carrizo. NYC just trying to slow things down a little bit. Beer spins, swings it over to the left side. McFarland engages with Firmino, drops it back to Housechild. Housechild up the left side to McFarland. Firmino there to defend, pass inside. Drop back to Beer. Beer fakes one way, cuts it back to the left. Elias. Rio Hope Gund. Up the right side. Has Baera. Passes inside to Adarivalo. Adarivalo inside to Beer. Beer slips it through. Looking for Adarivalo. Cleared by McFadden. Firmino spins away from trouble. McFadden gets Adarivalo to go to the seat of his pants. Spins back to the left. Clears up the line. Conway, what a flick! Viall in behind Hope Gunn. Dragged down by Rio Hope Gunn. That's a yellow card. Viall putting NYC defenders in trouble. Conway wanted to take the free kick quick, but a yellow was issued. Paperwork has to be handled. So the kick will be brought back. Conway tried to take it quickly. Actually picked out Brennan on the far side, but you have to write everything down if you're the referee, Greg Dobka.
Which is a shame. It's a great ball. It's a great sequence from Jackson Conway. Great job to flick that ball on perfectly for Viall. And right now, Johnny Viall's unplayable.
Free kick, Atlanta United 2, 63rd minute. Attacking half, Tiente and Firmino. Firmino gets it short from Tiente. Back to Tuamasi. Center circle, he dribbles to the right. Hernandez. Cuts back inside to Brennan. Brennan squares it to Firmino. Over to the left to Tiente. 63rd minute. Tiente. McFadden. Conway. Back to Tiente. Firmino, middle of the park now. Over to the right to Tuamasi. Passed forward to Tamimi. Has Brennan. Hernandez was making a run to the outside. Cross from Brennan over the head of Firmino. Tamimi's going to pounce on it. Big shot! Saved by Yagudayev. Tony Tiente from 30 yards.
Well, that had some spice behind it, and it's well saved by the 16-year-old.
Yagudayev has been impressive for NYC. He's got a one-goal cushion right now. Baera. Passed inside to Beer. Dropped off to Elias. Elias. Housechild. Across to Rio Hope Gunn. 64th minute. Lots of soccer to be played here. Atlanta in the ascendancy right now. Carrizo drops it back. Baera, Beer, swung over to the left side now. McFarland. Jimenez wants to turn. It comes off of Tumasi. McFarland into the attacking third. Cross cleared by McFadden. Carrizo top of the 18. Splits two. Goes down. Dive. Morales comes away with it. Brennan up the right side. Dribbling on Elias. Step over. Foul by Elias. He's on a yellow card.
I don't know how he's not on another one.
That's 2 fouls since he got the yellow card, and that's one in the middle third in transition. That's got to be a second yellow, and it's not.
You got to be kidding me.
NYC making a sub. They should have put Pietro Elias' name up there to get him off the field. It's Carrizo who comes out instead as Jonathan Shore checks in. Shore, the 16-year-old. So you got 1 year of age up from Carrizo, the 15-year-old. Third appearance for Jonathan Shore. Free kick taken quick by Hernandez. 1-2 with Conway. Brennan spinning backwards. Nowhere to go. Has to open it up. Goes back to Garces. Pietro Elias is on an orange card as bright as the NYC uniforms. Morales.
More of a faint red at this point, I think.
Yeah, Tamimi drops it off to Firmino. Big switch down the right side for Ronald Hernandez. Cross, first time, headed away by Housechild. Brennan half volley from the top of the 18 over the bar. Clearance wasn't a great one from Housechild. Brennan off the hop. Put it over the bar.
I think that might be those moments, Jason, where you're starting to see the young players under pressure, where you're getting the ball away quickly from Housechild, who's a younger player, getting it away quickly instead of picking out his pass.
Yagudayev will take the goal kick. Doctor blows the whistle to tell him to speed it up a little bit. He plays long. Jimenez goes up for it. Tuamasi wins it. Headed forward, almost found Brennan, but McFarland got there first. Drop back to Housechild, under pressure from Brennan. Yagudayev now under pressure from Brennan. He continued his run forward. Yagudayev just has to clear. McFadden chests it down. Chipped in, looking for Tamimi. It's over his head. Hope Gunn, good defensive work there. And Rio Hope Gunn in possession in his defensive third. Spins around, tries to open it up to the far side. Overhits the pass intended for McFarland. Hernandez throws it in. Brennan. Curling backwards, has Tuamasi. Tuamasi rides off the challenge from Myers. Brennan dribbles inside. Has Tiente at midfield. Tiente, big switch over to the left to Johnny Football. Here comes Vial. Brings it down, drives into the 18, lays it off to McFadden. Cuts it back. Cross, shot by McFadden! Goal, goal, goal! Aiden McFadden with a bombasso into the far upper 90, 2-2.
Wow. Well, it starts with the ball out to Johnny Football, as you talked about, Jason. And Vial at this point is generating basically a black hole's worth of gravity when he has the ball. Gets it over to Aiden, who rides a challenge, by the way. Like, Aiden gets checked, keeps his strength, and then puts his laces through it, and it's just a FU ball into the upper 90.
Might have to have a conversation with McFadden down the line about that one. Was that supposed to be a cross that he just blasted into the upper 90, or did he get his head up and pick that out? Right now, it's a great goal.
We're back even at 2, and it's all to play for. MLS Next Pro After Dark is in full effect, and no, there is not an antidote for this.
No, not at all. Ronald Hernandez trying to get through traffic. Foul, not called, advantage played. Here comes Otter Ivalo down the left for NYC into the 18, dribbling on Tuamasi. Tries to draw another foul. Can you get a yellow card at some point for diving? Guess not. He tried to beat Tuamasi. Tuamasi got to the spot, got his body between the ball and Otter Ivalo. And Otter Ivalo went down rather easily for the second time in about 5 minutes.
Those annoy me, Jason, not because of the dive, but because they're dangerous when he's going down, because he's going to take Tuamasi with him, and it's dangerous to grab somebody by the arm in those situations.
Atlanta trying to play their way out of trouble. They turn it over. Timimi fouls Arevalo. This time caught him. So it's a free kick for NYC. 30 yards from the end line, but just a couple yards inside the touchline on the right. 69th minute.
Yeah, I don't mind if you're trying to earn a penalty. I don't mind that. But if you're going down and you start bringing guys down by the arm and risk potential injury for one or both players, that's where I would like the referee to step in.
2-2. NYC went up 2-0. Atlanta has stormed back here in the second half. Beer will take the free kick. Beer plays it short, little 1-2. Dribbling inside now, Jack Beer. Squares it across. Piero Elias. One more time to McFarland. Out wide on the left. Jimenez, nowhere to go. Back to McFarland. All the way back. Housechild. Further back into the center circle. Rio Hope Gund. Now up the right side for NYC. Baera dribbles inside of Johnny Vial. Plays it in for Arevalo. Loose touch. Goal kick.
Renewed vigor from Atlanta on the defensive side of things as well. We know they are firing on all cylinders in the attack right now, but the defense, the ability to step out quickly and to close down is really impressive on that sequence.
Goal kick played long by Morales over the head of Timimi. Pass forward, knocked down by Tiente. Elias heads it forward. Tiente brings it down this time. Nick Firmino's dropped into an 8 roll. Double pivot with Tiente. Hernandez. Brennan skips past McFarland. Dribbles inside. Timimi lays it off. Firmino, big switch. Vial. Good control from Vial. Drop to Tiente.
Put 4 bodies between Vial and the box seems to be the way to go about it.
Firmino squared over to Twumasi. 71st minute. Kofi dribbling forward. Out wide to the right to Hernandez. Cut inside to Firmino. Firmino turns. Out wide to Timimi. Cross. Back post. Conway goes up for it. Heads it down. Chested back to Yagudayev. Rio Hope Gund maybe a little surprised there. But he chests it down to Yagudayev. Brennan hobbling a little bit on the far side. See if he can jog this off or Atlanta will have to make a change.
You got a bit of a break there if you're Atlanta where you've got possession of the ball now. Maybe deflate it. Maybe take a moment to make sure he can go.
NYC tried to play long through the middle. They overhit the pass. Garces overhits one down the left. Brennan really hobbling now, but he's trying to run this off. The way he's trying to run it off, I'm assuming he got hit, and it's maybe more of a like Charlie horse kind of injury as opposed to a muscle pull. Hope Gund over to the right. Baera. Back to Yagudayev. Timimi chasing. Yagudayev up the right side. Over the head of Tiente. Maybe he was fouled.
Shove there.
Wasn't called. Through the middle, intercepted by Twumasi. And he's able to ride off a challenge and find Firmino. 1-2 with Tiente.
Luke's still limping over there on the right-hand side. He's talking to the managers right now.
He wants to continue, but can he is the question. Conway dribbling up the left, pulls it back to McFadden. Firmino. McFadden. Morales. Twumasi. Tiente in the center circle. 73rd minute. Morales. Vial turns up the left side to McFadden. McFadden and Conway not on the same page. Conway checked back. McFadden played it down the line. Goal kick NYC.
Not sure if whatever Brennan had is starting to wear off or the adrenaline's kicking in, but moving a little bit better on that attack. He was making a late run onto the far side of the box just in case.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Atlanta's going to make a sub just yet. They're going to try to ride this out for Brennan. 74th minute. Yagudayev cuts it over to Housechild. Rio Hope Gund under pressure from Timimi. Rides off that challenge. Able to play it forward to Arevalo. Out wide to Baera. Back to Arevalo. Baera now dribbling inside. Lays it off to Beer. Beer just gives it away. Passes right to Brennan. Brennan. Through ball to Vial. Vial. Top of the 18. Closed down. Blocked back to Firmino. Shot. Goal! 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 Nick Firmino! Atlanta United 2 all the way back from 2 down to go up 3-2.
As seen recently in MLS, hurting New York City, now making an appearance against hurting New York City too. It's Nick Firmino. What a ball through to Johnny Vial. Great defensive work to take it off of Vial and not let him get the shot clean. But Firmino so composed with the ball. The moment slows down for him there, and he's able to put it in the back of the net.
Full credit to our spotter, Luke Enfinger, up here in the booth. He saw Brennan hobbling. We were keeping an eye on it. He was able to get himself back going. And NYC just with a bad giveaway right to Brennan, but he's able to slip the pass through to Vial. It's a well-weighted pass from Luke Brennan. Vial shot blocked, and then Nick Firmino, 9th goal of the season, 2nd goal of the week in 2 different leagues. And Atlanta United 2 from 2-0 down in the 50th minute, up 3-2. NYC will kick off. Jack Beer was getting checked out for an injury. We'll see if he's going to be able to continue. But everything has completely flipped in this one from Kennesaw tonight, as we're almost at 10:30 on the clock, and we still got at least 15 minutes to go. Beer will be coming out of this one. And it's Francesco Di Ponzio checking in. Di Ponzio will play in the midfield where Beer has really been holding things down. 12th appearance of the season for Di Ponzio. 1 goal, 1 assist this year for NYCFC II.
Interested to see what he brings to it. We talked about it in the pregame and in the early part of the game, Jason. Beer was leading the team in assists, have been very impressive this year.
The 17-year-old Di Ponzio. A lot of experience, another one of the talented NYCFC Academy players. Kickoff played long. Long-range shot right at Garces. Elias from 30 yards out. There was another sub in that sequence as well. Julian Gomez is in for NYC. Gomez's 2nd appearance of the season. Garces squared it over to Tumasi. He plays long looking for Tamimi. Tamimi able to bring this down. Di Ponzio with his first touch knocks it away. McFarland passes inside. It's deflected. Conway just knocks it forward. Finds Tamimi. Battle with Housechild, but Tamimi commits the foul. Both were lunging for it. I think Tamimi swung through and caught Alexander Housechild.
I absolutely think he got it right. I just hate that he's called it. It's the right call there, and it's great work from Housechild.
Pass intercepted by Vial. Hope Gunn left it short. Vial down the left. Able to somehow skip past the defender. Wants to turn to the outside. He's hip checked down. No foul. It's going to be a throw NYC. Thrown in. Di Ponzio. Housechild. McFarland on the left. 78th minute. Deflected by Hernandez. 1 back. Firmino. Up the right side to Brennan, who's moving around pretty well now. Brennan. Passes inside. Firmino knocked over by Elias. No foul. Throw NYC.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, you know. Housechild. Yagudayev at his penalty spot. Hope Gund. Back to Yagudayev. Back to Rio Hope Gund. Tamimi defending. Hope Gund plays it long. Tamimi might have caught him. He did. Free kick NYC.
It's the swing through there from Hope Gund. It's as he kicks the ball. Tamimi's in the way and his foot hits him and he goes down. It's just good work from Hope Gund.
Di Ponzio. Over to Housechild. 79th minute. 3-2 Atlanta United 2. Hope Gund. Pulls it back. NYC. Moves it over to Housechild. Back to Yagudayev. Shore. Back to Hope Gund. Yagudayev. Atlanta just keeping everything in front of them. NYC now has to take the initiative. Can they? Yagudayev, long ball down the left. Header won by McFarland. Jimenez heads it back to him. And it's out for an Atlanta throw at midfield.
Well, it's a situation, Jason, you talked about keeping everything in front of them. They're daring them to play that ball long, and not only to win the first ball against Atlanta's back line, but then to win the second ball cleanly.
Throw in Atlanta. Hernandez looking for Conway. DePonzio was able to get around him. Elias pulls it back. Good work from Pietro Elias. He spins back to his left. Up the left side to Jimenez. Defended by Hernandez. Jimenez goes down trying to get a foul. Doesn't get it. NYC in possession in the middle third. Hope Gund dribbles into the attacking half now. Pulls it back. Good work from Tamimi defensively. Housechild now on the left side. Back to Hope Gund. Hope Gund through the middle. Down the right side now. Great ball. Baera, cross, caught by Garces. Great ball there. Gomez dropped back and gave a great ball down the right side to Baera, but his cross not good enough to beat Justin Garces. 80th minute, Garces rolls it out short to the left. Morales. McFadden chips it back into the 18 to Garces. It's a confident ball from McFadden. Over to the right to Tuamasi.
It's one thing McFadden's never been short on.
That is true. Hernandez inside to Firmino. Firmino through the middle. Mishit. Trying to hit the big switch to Vial. It ends up with Yagudayev. Over to Housechild. Forward to Shore. Now over to the left to McFarland. Taken away by Hernandez. Brennan gets a touch. Here comes Conway. Lays it off for Brennan in the 18. Brennan to the end line. Cuts it back. Top of the 18. Tiente! Big save by Yagudayev. Headed straight up into the air by Baera. Firmino battling for it. Can't win it. Here comes Gomez. 2v2 for NYC, but the ball falls to Tuamasi. Tuamasi able to turn and dribble out, grab. Great work from the captain, Kofi Tuamasi.
And we got an injury on the NYC side in the back line. Trying to see who it is.
I believe it is Baera. Not sure if it's a cramp or if he got caught in that whole sequence of events. Big save from Yagudayev on Tiente once again.
Well, it's again another ball that turns over with the counter pressure, Jason, and you're ending up in a situation, as it looks like Atlanta's getting ready to make a change, in a situation where you're able to get forward. Brennan looking a lot better after he picked up. Charlie Horse might have been a great word for what he had. He seems to be fine now. Falls to Tiente. It's a great save to keep this thing from getting out of hand for New York City.
Sometimes when you get hit in the wrong spot, it's just like it goes numb.
Yeah.
If you get caught on the outside of the ankle in the wrong way sometimes, it just feels like it's numb. Brendan was able to work it out, help create the go-ahead goal, and almost created an assist there. It's Tyler Young who's getting ready to come back in for Atlanta United 2. He started the first games of the season. Long-term hamstring injury has kept him out until tonight. He's not in yet. Garces plays it long down the right side, out for an NYC throw. Will they make the sub here? Yes, it looks like it. Yes, they will do that now.
And if you've never had a hamstring injury, they are a pain to come back from. It's just so hard to get back up to full speed.
It's Conway who's coming off. A lot of work tonight for Jackson Conway. Did a lot of things off the ball tonight. And Tyler Young checks in. We'll see where Young's going to go. He played as an attacker at Campbell. He was the back-to-back Big South Offensive Player of the Year. We've seen him as a right back here with Atlanta United 2. Looks like he's in the midfield. Atlanta down the right. Brennan skipping past defenders at will. Brennan cuts it back, looking for Tamimi. Cleared. Corner.
Well, whatever happened to Luke Brennan, it's past now because he's just frolicking through the back line at NYCFC, and renewed vigor in the final 10 minutes of this game from Luke Brennan, who has every excuse to be gassed, but he is driving right at those defenders.
Going to be a corner on the far side. Ronald Hernandez will take it in the 84th minute. Hernandez. Top of the 6. Headed away. Vial runs it down 30 yards from goal. Cuts it back to Firmino. Firmino into the 18. Firmino! Goal, goal, goal! Atlanta United 2. 10 on the year for the Magic Man, Nick Firmino.
I don't know how many goals he's going to score in a given week, but I'll take that from Nick Firmino. It's a great job of recycling the set piece. Something we've talked about, Jason, a lot is when that initial set piece doesn't come off, it's not giving up on it. It's getting the ball back in. It's Johnny Vial playing it through. It's a defender almost getting to it, but not quite. And then Nick Firmino 1v1, really high on that list of guys you do not want to be one-on-one with.
What a second half for Atlanta United 2. They were down 2-0 in the 50th minute. 34 minutes later, Atlanta United 2 is leading 4-2.
A couple subs coming in for NYC as well. Haxhari is on.
Haxhari has been a regular for NYC. This is his 10th appearance, another academy product, 18 years old. Tyler Mork also into the game. Elias checked out. Myers still in. Mork kicks off. Morales wins the header on the long ball. Young goes up for it. Popped over to Hope Gunn. Vial scrapping, can't win it. Jimenez, who's moved over to the right side now. Shapes and formations don't really matter too much at this point for NYC. Atlanta just keeping everything in front of them as best as they can. Long ball won by Twumasi. Forward to Brennan. Brennan with the back heel flick. Firmino into the 18. Yagudayev slides out and kicks it over for a throw. Firmino almost with an opportunity for a hat trick off of the back heel from Brennan. Back heel from Firmino. Vial gives it back to him. Back to Vial. Back to Firmino. Looking for Vial. Cleared. Tiente picks it up in the 87th minute. Drops it back to Twumasi. Over to Morales. Left to McFadden. Aiden McFadden drops it back to Morales. Forward to McFadden. Inside to Tiente. Big switch from Tony Tiente to Luke Brennan. Has the overlap of Hernandez. Gives it to the Venezuelan. Hernandez cuts it back to Vial. Top of the 18. Into the 18. Deflected shot. Out for a corner.
The back line for New York is so narrow in that situation. Atlanta had 3 or 4 chances to play that diagonal before they did. And Brennan's standing over there by himself. And as dangerous as he has been in the last 15, 20, 25 minutes, can't give him that much space.
It's wild how things click sometimes for a team. And Atlanta United 2, after a bad break for Alan Carlton where he slipped, they have picked him back up in a big way. Corner, Hernandez, back post. Morales goes up for the header, doesn't catch it clean. NYC clears.
Well, Aiden was reared up, about to try and put that ball through the net if he got a touch to it.
It'll be a throw for Atlanta at midfield in the 88th minute. Good performance tonight from Ronald Hernandez, his first Next Pro appearance this season.
I might have a couple more changes coming for Atlanta in the dying moments.
Yeah, opportunity now to get guys onto the field if you want, if you're Jose Silva. Looks like Aiden Torres will make his home debut. Sean Lanza will be in for his 6th appearance of the season. Free kick Atlanta. Subs will happen on the next opportunity. Free kick played short to Firmino.
And just watching the way Atlanta's playing right now, Jason, they're just so loose. The passing, the movement, everything just looks like it's fun.
Twumasi, Garces, Morales. Forward to Vial. Vial, through ball down the line for Tyler Young. Young into the attacking third. Young pulls it back. Vial, top of the 18. Johnny Vial skips past one, can't skip past the second. NYC able to clear. Gomez over to the left. Knocked away by Firmino. Brennan will run it down in the corner. Brennan into the 18 for Firmino. Cuts it back off the end line. Wants to spin back. Can't pull that one off. Cleared by Haxhari. Tiente will run it down in front of Myers. Passes forward for Hernandez. It's intercepted. Good defensive play from Johnny Vial to prevent NYC from breaking. Throw NYC. Subs first. Luke Brennan's night is done. A big night for Brennan. He'll check out. Tiente will check out as well. Lanza and Torres are in. Aiden Torres, second appearance in MLS Next Pro for Atlanta United II. The 15-year-old just back from national team duty with the U15s for the U.S. Lanza has spent time in U.S. Youth National Team camps as well this year. It's been a big week for the development side of Atlanta United. The U16s win a national championship. Lots of debuts in MLS, including Luke Brennan. Firmino coming up from the twos to get a point on Wednesday night in MLS. And in this performance tonight, what a week for Atlanta United on that side of things. McFadden into stoppage time now. 4 minutes to play. McFadden will just drop it back into the 18 to Tumasi. Hernandez. Torres. Loose touch. Wins the second one, though. Torres, what a ball forward to Vial, but just slightly overhit. Atlanta in more of a 4-4-2 now at this point. Yagudayev. Haxhari. Sure. NYC's got to get this forward if they're looking for a miracle. DePonzio. Still in their own half, NYC. Lanza steps up high to defend. Typically a right back. Lanza's playing as a right winger now. Pass inside.
He's fresh off the bench, and he is pressing, and they are coming with fire.
Defensive work from Torres. Knocks it away twice from Gomez. And NYC wins it back. They open it up to the right side. Jimenez. Jimenez passes forward. Aiden Torres steps in to intercept. Young tries to find Vial. They don't connect. Young finds the second ball. Tamimi. Lanza finds Tamimi. Tamimi spins around to the right. Pulls it back. Fancy footwork from the Frenchman. Drop back by Lanza. Inside to Torres. Over to Morales. Stoppage time ticking away. Morales with the big switch down the right. Lanza wants to get forward. Couldn't bring that down. Good ball from Efrain Morales. Yagudayev, top of his 18. Long ball down the right. Hernandez wins the header. It's back into the middle. Here come the Pigeons. Chipped forward. Twumasi chests it down. That was intended for Myers. Kofi Twumasi leading MLS Next Pro in interceptions. He's added a few to his total tonight. Back to Morales. Over to Garces. Twumasi, top of his own 18. Firmino. Back to Hernandez. Forward to Lanza. Lanza tries to get it back to Hernandez. It's intercepted. NYC in the middle third. They're pretty much out of time. Haxhari. Passes forward. Good ball from Haxhari. Shore up the left side. McFarland, step overs, dribbles inside. Firmino comes back to get a tackle in. Torres slides through. Aiden Torres has been very busy in just a couple of minutes on the field.
Certainly not afraid of the moment.
Firmino finds Tamimi. Flag is up. Tamimi tried to stay onside there, wasn't able to ride the line. Haxhari stepped up at the last second. Yagudayev gives it to Haxhari. Passed forward to Shore. Swings it over to Hope Gunn. Not much time left now. Atlanta United 2 with an amazing comeback tonight. MLS Next Pro After Dark. And Atlanta has lived up to that. Tyler Young into the attacking half. Tamimi out wide on the left. Splits the defender's legs into Young in the 18. Young with step overs. Looked to load up the right foot. Cleared. Hayden Torres, 40 yards from goal. Squares it to Vial. Over to Firmino. Firmino holding off challengers. Down the right side to Hernandez. Can Atlanta add a fifth? Hernandez with the cross, headed away by Haxari. That will do it. An epic comeback for Atlanta United 2. Gave up the second goal. NYC with a 2-0 lead in the 50th. And storming back to win 4-2. Johnny Vial sparked everything. Nick Firmino with 2 goals. So many storylines coming out of this one, Jarrett.
It's a fantastic answer, and you talk about how subs can change games, Jason. Johnny Vial just came and turned this game on its head, and then he made it his own. So explosive from the moment he came on the field, and then once the momentum got going that way, Atlanta just seemed to carry it, and even through the final minutes, once they had made it 4-2, never really felt like, aside from like one shot off of the restart that's a long shot that Justin Garces grabs, felt like they really minimized what New York City was able to do. And what really impressed me, Jason, is the last 6 or 7 minutes, Atlanta turned that field into an oxygen deprivation chamber for New York City. They made them fight for every single yard of grass out there. Such an impressive performance from these kids to get up and not think about, cool, we flipped this result to 3-2, now to 4-2. They didn't let up at all. They just got more intense. They still wanted it more at the very end. Really mature performance.
4 goals in 25 minutes of action. Conway from the spot after Vial earned the penalty. McFadden with a bomb. Firmino with 2. Vial earned a penalty and had 2 assists off the bench. So many different things. Jarrett Smith will give you the 3 stars of the night, and he'll wrap everything up in postgame. Right after this, 4-2 win for Atlanta United 2 tonight on the SDH Network.
Welcome back to Fifth Third Bank Stadium. Action at the Fraction has concluded, and we did MLS Next Pro After Dark right tonight, y'all. Atlanta United 2-4, NYCFC 2-2. Now, look, NYCFC II picks up 2 goals, one in the first half, and then in the second half, Arevalo gets a goal in the 50th minute, and it starts to feel like it's going to be a long night at the shop after all of this delay for Atlanta United 2, but the whole game turns on the foot of Johnny Viall, who comes on as a sub in the second half, and he is our star of the match. Johnny Viall earns a penalty not long after he comes on, then picks up 2 assists as Atlanta United 2 picks up 4 goals after the 59th minute with Jackson Conway slotting home a penalty. After that, it was one-way traffic. The total shots in the game are the second half shots are 12 for Atlanta, and you mentioned at the end of the game, oxygen deprivation chamber. It's what it felt like for New York. They just pinned New York back and minimized everything they could do after the Arevalo goal in the 50th minute. As we take a look at the stats beyond that, we'll get to the other star players in just a minute. His expected goals, it's 1.98 for Atlanta, 0.76 for NYC, which feels about right. Atlanta scored a couple goals, including the Aiden McFadden goal. If you haven't seen it, go find Atlanta United ATLUTD2 on Twitter. Take a look at the goal that Aiden McFadden scores, where he, from a tight angle, just puts his foot through the ball with an absolute rocket that finds the upper 90 that equals the game, and from there it just kind of felt like it was one-directional. And Nick Firmino scores. Nick Firmino scores again. It's 4-2. Really good performance there from Atlanta United. 16 shots in total, 11 for New York. Atlanta led shots on target, 8-4. 10 shots inside the box for Atlanta, and 2 total big chances. The final third entries is where it was much more slanted to New York's favor in the first half. In the second half, though, Atlanta gets it closer as New York ends up winning it 56-51, but Atlanta, especially in the second half, much more efficient with those entries. Possession leaned towards New York, 51.1 to 48.9. Again, Atlanta was finding just all sorts of space at the later parts of the game when it's tied and they're trying to find the lead, and Johnny Viall is just able to get out and stretch his legs and run. Really impressive performance. Crosses were 14-14 all. Both teams had 5 corners as well. As far as successful dribbles, and this was a thing that really seemed to cause trouble with Johnny Viall, again, coming on, he's the star of the match for a reason. 25 total dribbles for Atlanta. 40% success rate. They run 54% of their duels as well. It's a chippy game. 25 fouls in all, 15 for New York, 10 for Atlanta, a couple of yellow cards. Honestly, felt like we should have had at least one sending off on the New York side, but did not happen. Didn't really impact the game, and none of the calls seemed to really impact the total score line. You had the penalty given to Johnny Viall, who feels the contact and goes down. It was kind of a weird one. You had a couple more where guys are going down in the box after that looking for something, and it kind of feels like it's always just looking for something. Let's take a look at the other stars of the game, though. We know Johnny Viall is your star of the game. That's your one star. Again, he earns the penalty, has 2 assists. After that, Nick Firmino. What a week for Nick Firmino. Makes his MLS debut with Atlanta United in the midweek, scoring in late into stoppage time to rescue Atlanta United to earn a draw with NYCFC. Then comes back down here, picks up a brace tonight, 10 goals on the season with Atlanta United 2. And look, he's doing a lot of really good work, doing everything within his power to prove that he belongs at the level he was showing not long ago, just a couple nights ago in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's a smaller venue tonight, but a darn impressive performance for Nick Firmino. Our third star of the game, a guy who didn't get on the score sheet, but Luke Brennan. Luke Brennan just worked his tail off tonight. A lot of runs on the right-hand side, a lot of hard work. Eventually, he gets a bit of a knock in the second half, and you start to wonder if he's going to be able to go on, almost like he had a Charlie horse, like he was cramping up, but he fights through it, create some trouble, create some dangerous balls going down the right-hand side. A lot of really good work from Nick Firmino. He started to add the assists and the goals and the big chances and the shot creating actions, so to speak, into his game, which is what he's been needing to do with building that consistency. Didn't have a shot or did not have a goal or an assist tonight, but still a very good performance from Luke Brennan and really gutting it out on a weird night. We talked to us earlier about how this game had a lot of weirdness because of the late start time. Guys, sometimes it's tough for them to get going again and get back in the flow. But everybody eventually found themselves. NYC found themselves more quickly with the early goal, but Atlanta answered as well as you could have possibly asked them to answer. And a fantastic second half, a 4-2 victory for Atlanta United 2. As we take a look at the updated standings in the East, it's Crown Legacy with 35 points, still in first place. Columbus Crew 2 sitting in second place. So we break out the conferences. 31 points. New England is third with 30 points. Then the Baby Bulls in fourth, OCB in fifth, and Atlanta United is actually tied with OCB with 24 points. However, Atlanta has played 2 more games than OCB. And we'll see how those games shake out. But it's still a good performance. And an important one there for Atlanta United, too, is NYCFC II sits just below them in the Eastern Conference table. Break it down further as we want to get a little molecular. We can get into division standings as well. And look, I didn't make the rules, man. But the division standings are as such. Atlanta is in the Central. Columbus Crew in first with 31 points. OCB and Atlanta tied for second with 24, OCB holding that tiebreaker on points per game as they have played 2 fewer games. As far as NYCFC II, they're in fourth place in the East on 22 points, now sitting at 7, 6, and 1. Let's take a look around the league and see what's been going on while we were having our fun here with MLS Next Pro After Dark. We talked about some of the earlier scores. Columbus beating Hunt City 1-0. Then you had Charlotte over Chicago 4-2. San Jose with a 2-1 victory over Houston. The Baby Bulls with a 3-1 victory over Cincinnati. SKC and North Texas drew at 1. SKC won that 5-4 on penalties. Then you had Colorado, which LA scored. Los Dos scored first in that game, and Colorado pulled in Atlanta. Although I think they did it over a full stretch of time. But Colorado with a 5-1 victory, a statement win over Los Dos. It was Salt Lake coming back and beating the Timbers 3-2. And at halftime, out west, if you really want to get your dose of MLS Next Pro After Dark, you still got 45 more minutes to flip over and watch Tacoma with a 1-0 lead over Austin. And that's going to about wrap it up from Fifth Third Bank Stadium. Everything's starting to empty. Folks are tired. Emotions are heavy. Emotions are high. Everyone wants to go home. Get a good night's sleep. Do the same unless you're going to go watch the Tacoma game. Thanks again for joining us, everybody. Once again, Atlanta United 2 with a 4-2 victory over NYCFC 2. For Jason Longshore, I'm Jared Smith. Take care, y'all. Mucha plata, y'all.